You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We're talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets.
What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to send a beating at least.
World champions! Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Philly podcast presented by SixPackCoverage.com, La Terrain Watches, and themonkeysuncle.net. I am Eric Perugini with my co-host Christopher Lahiff, and we are here to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Washington Redskins, and then, with a little help from their friends, the Green Bay Packers. The Eagles are 9-7, and, well, freaking color me bad, in the playoffs. You believe this crap, Chris?
No, absolutely not. We had our preseason talks, and we talked about the Eagles and them winning. Their predictions of the USA Today had them at 3 wins, and then everyone else had them at. I had them at 7. I had them at 7 based on their defense and just how bad the East is. And let's be realistic. They have lived up to being the worst division so far. I know we have 2 teams going from the playoffs. I mean, we've had the luxury, both teams, Dallas and the Eagles, of not playing good teams. And that happens. It happens. It's part of football. So I go back to how I'm going to start out, how we talked about backstage with the trolls and the idiots of Philadelphia fan base. And, the haters as well who sit there and say Jalen Hurts did this, Jalen Hurts did that. Look at the quarterbacks he's played. Well, if he had lost those games, what would you have said then? If the team would have lost the games, what would you have said then? Our fan base makes zero sense. Be excited. We get a playoff game. We get a meaningful game in January. What is the problem? What could you possibly hate about the Eagles right now? The draft picks, they have 3. They have 3 picks in April, and they're in the playoffs. Tell me what you hate about them right now, and I'll bring you on the show. I'll send you,
Yeah, over the last 2-3 weeks, you literally have nothing that you can say bad about the team. You have nothing you can say bad about Jalen Hurts. There's nothing you can say bad about the defense, especially Gannon. They are. I'm not going to say buying into their own hype. They're doing their thing. They have gelled as a team. And this is, look, you said you had them at 7 wins just based off of the division. And I literally just, and the defense, I had them at 4 wins. I'll eat crow on it. I did. I had them at 4 wins. I wasn't believing in Jalen Hurts. But since week 7, when the Eagles fan base basically bullied Nick Sirianni into running the football, and they've started winning games and playing better as a team. Okay, I've started to see some improvement on Jalen Hurts' end, which I've said before.
You need to log out and log back in. You sound like a robot. It's, I don't know if you have an internet or you're just you're very staticky. So if you log back out and come back in, that's the best thing to do.
Yep, I'll do that. So continue on, sir.
I will. So we obviously we had to talk, before about how bad, the Eagles have played. in the first half. They're very slow starters. You can't do that in the playoffs. You're hoping that they get better with the game going on, which we've had the luxury of the Eagles playing bad teams. But again, good teams make adjustments. Like they shut out the Washington football team in the second half. They had a key interception. They had key stops. I don't know what else you could possibly want from this team that is overachieving. I mean, let's be realistic. They're overachieving. They're leading the league in running. Jalen Hurts is making some really nice throws. Let's just recap. Like, let's just go on his throws. Like his throws are. Look again. Greg Ward sighting. A Greg Ward sighting on a ridiculous third down. That was key. That was key to that.
Yeah. I mean,
you sound so much better.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's Greg Ward. And I can't stand Greg Ward.
He's got 6 catches and 3 touchdowns. That's like some Chris Carter-esque stuff. And again, I'm not saying he's Chris Carter, but I'm like 7 catches, like 70 yards and 3 touchdowns. Sign me up.
That's great.
Sign me up.
Yeah. I mean, I am. I'm not much of a Greg Ward guy, but when you're making the plays, you're making the plays, and that's all you want people to do. That's all you want people to do. Make a play when they're called to do it.
Yeah, and Darth Pooh's right. They need to draft a lineman in the first round.
I do agree with that.
I would draft 2, and because you don't know what Kelsey's eventually going to retire. I know he's Philadelphia's spirit animal, but he's going to retire. Like it has to happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all know. I mean, we all know they drafted Dickerson to be his backup, and the kid's played well. So I mean, he's gonna take over for Kelsey. But no, he's right. You do need to draft a lineman. It's going to be interesting to see what they do in this draft. I still feel that they move at least one of those picks for like a future first next year.
They'll end up moving their pick. They're going to have the high pick.
Yeah, they'll do that. A lot of people are like saying that they're going to use all 3 picks on defense. I'm like, no, they're not going to use all 3 picks on defense. I don't see them doing that at all. I mean, Howie Roseman is big on having assets, and they have 3 first-round picks coming up as of right now, and 10 total picks in this draft coming up, and that could very easily change real fast. Like they could have more than that depending on what happens. They could also use a couple of those picks to trade for a marquee player, and I'm not saying any certain position. I'm just saying they could use those picks to trade for a marquee player that they desperately need somewhere, and use a pick to draft somebody. I don't think they're going to spend a pick on another wide receiver. I think they're going to try and go out and find a veteran wide receiver.
Yeah, which they should. They shouldn't wait. Listen, you can say what you want about Rager. He didn't really do anything yesterday, which is fine. But neither did Justin Jefferson, if anyone's asking. But you have all this stock. Like the key to winning games is in the trenches. Yes. And it's been like that for years. It's not going to change. That's why the Eagles have been so successful. You got to understand something. When you're an offensive lineman, you don't want the quarterback throwing the ball 50 times a game. It puts you on your heels, and that's how Achilles injuries happens. Like it's just how it goes. It's you're more likely to get an Achilles injury on a pass block than a run block. It's just the way of the game. That's just how it is. It's always been like that. Like if you go back and look at all the Achilles injuries to the offensive linemen in the league, they were either non-contact or they were running. They were pass blocking. It's part of the game. It sucks, but it's part of the game.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is. Right here, for every yard Jalen Rager gets, how he spares a kitten's life.
I love it. Well, ain't no kittens were spared yesterday.
That's funny.
So let's go back to the Eagles win 2016. They go for it on 4th down on the first drive. They don't get it. and they were moving the ball pretty well. So, you're a little frustrated, like probably should have took the points, but all right, whatever. I get it. And then, you have this touchdown, which is just watch Hurts and the disaster that could have been.
Scored on 4th and goal earlier. Hurts is tripped, flips, dives, touchdown Boston Scott. His second today.
The disaster, the disaster that could have happened from getting sacked to the pitch to Boston Scott not catching it. Like if there's a defender within a yard, I gotta look. It's 7 going the other way.
Right. Yeah, that play was great. I mean, the concentration it took from Hurts to be able to get that ball to Boston Scott.
So cheers to Boston Scott and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean that was something else on Jalen Hurts' part. That was impressive because as soon as I saw him fall, I'm like, oh crap, busted play, here we go. And then Boston Scott turns into Superman and goes flying over everybody. That's,
I thought I sent you the video with the Superman music. I did.
You did. You sent me that. I thought that was kind of funny. That was good. I liked it.
You should have downloaded. That's what I wanted it on there for.
Oh, you had already sent me like.
I know. I had made the TikTok later, and I was like, I'll send it to him. If he wants to work on it, he can.
It was funny though.
So
you actually sent me like 4 videos of this like twice. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
I downloaded so many videos during the game, and then I post them on TikTok. And our biggest hit on TikTok so far is the Madden call on 4th and 1. It's got like 29,000 hits, which is phenomenal.
That's beautiful.
So we're going to be going live on TikTok soon. Hey.
TikTok,
I'll never do that again. But no, like they were, and their defense. I mean, now there's 12 players on the COVID list, but everyone's like, oh my God. Like, who's going to the game? Like, everyone was like, what Eagles fans are going to the game? Everyone's like, well, there's 12 Eagles who aren't going. Relax. The game's on Saturday night. Everybody on that team is vaccinated. The CDC and the NFL made their own bylaws about the 5 days. Carson Wentz doesn't have the vaccine, got put on a list on Tuesday, and then was activated on Saturday. That makes no sense to me. I've given up on knowing the rules when it comes to COVID. But if they have COVID, this is the time you want your team to get COVID.
Yeah, I mean, it's the last week of the season. You're in the playoffs. Who cares? Who cares? Sit all those guys. I don't care. Sit them all. Like all these people are freaking out.
I get it. It's seeding, but, it's either you play Tom Brady or you play Matt Stafford, and
yeah.
So.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know. I mean, I would rather go against Tom Brady, who has like no wide receivers except for Mike Evans now. He's got like absolutely nobody.
Right. Comment made was like, welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway? The rules are made up and the point don't matter. He's 100% right. But with the way the Eagles are built, you got to think they're one of the most refreshed teams in the league. Because you're going to come in, you're going to go into Tampa, you're going to go into LA where it's hot, and they're just going to run the ball, and defenses are going to struggle. Again, I'm not saying the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, although I did say that like 6 weeks ago after the New Orleans game. I will hold my bet to it if that happens. I'll be like, I knew it. Woo!
That's too funny.
But yeah, so it's funny though, but like you said, like I got home, I left work today, and I made the mistake of turning on the radio, 94 WI. I don't know why I didn't just automatically switch to satellite, and somebody was actually bitching about Sirianni. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And they're sitting there, and the guy's like, I'd rather have Brandon Staley. And Ike Bruce is like, no, you'd rather have Justin Herbert, so shut your mouth and be quiet. Like, stop it. Stop it right now. There is zero yes, Nick Sirianni is out of his mind. I said it in the beginning of the season when we did the one podcast with the Dynasty Sports podcast. This guy is playing rock, paper, scissors with whatever
draft picks.
Draft picks, and I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on. And now it's Flowers after week 7 when the team's 2-5, and you're like, what the? My team is 2-5. I don't want to hear you talking about flowers. Well, you know what? Bring me the flowers. Bring them to me. Put a bouquet of flowers on my desk at work. They'll be there until the Eagles' playoff run is over. Like, the guy's bananas. But why do I feel like every time it's always like, oh, I don't want to know. I don't want this coach. I don't want that coach. And we never give the coach a chance. And we're like, remember, this entire fan base was in on Chip Kelly. Everybody.
Oh, jeez.
And then this entire fan base was questionable about Doug Peterson. And I'm like, you just saw what we had. And now nobody wanted Doug Peterson. They wanted Adam Gase. I'm on record as saying I wouldn't let Adam Gase run my Madden team, let alone my favorite football team. So I don't want him looking at my fantasy team. So now you have Nick Sirianni. Yeah, Brandon Staley's a good coach. Brandon Staley's got probably the second best running back in the league in Austin Eckler. Let's be realistic. And, he's got an MVP candidate in Justin Herbert. I mean, they're only 9-7. So if they're that great, and, you were comparing them to Patrick Mahomes, his body work, his framework. Our previous co-host, Pat Hausman, compared him to, the Patrick Mahomes-esque type players. And I kind of disagree. Not that I disagree with you. I said you got to put Josh Allen in there. And, Pat, being his pro-Patriot ways, gave us reasons why Josh Allen isn't what he's meant out to be, which we know why. Like, it's his fandom, it takes over at times, and it really shouldn't. But you go back to the framework of the Eagles. They run the ball. They throw the ball when needed. Dallas Goedert saw 5 or 6 targets yesterday, and he caught them all. Like, if you're targeting him 6 times a game and he's catching it 6 times, there's a good chance you're probably going to have a good lead, or you're setting up the play action pass, the run game, everything all right?
Yeah, I'm just watching the dog. She's like acting funny.
All right, so you have that going for you, and he didn't run that much, but when he did run, he was good. So you know what? I'm going to do another cheers to Sirianni. Cheers, Sirianni.
He's been impressive this year. I mean, when the season started, I was like, what is this guy doing? Like, he just seemed like he was lost. And then he turned it around. The same as Gannon turned it around to defense. Like, Gannon's actually made Singleton look like an actual NFL linebacker.
No, you're right. Singleton's made some plays. I mean, he's not Micah Parsons. I mean, there's nobody's Micah Parsons.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So I want to get a little off topic. I know we're an Eagles podcast, and I don't know if you saw it, but did you see Joe Judge's press conference yesterday?
I heard parts of it. I didn't.
He's bananas. He's absolutely. He was like, there's nobody here with golf clubs. There's nobody here with, who's packing in, this and that. I have guys who are potential free agents that are coming into my office and say they want to stay. And then I have guys who left the team last year and they wish they never left. And I'm like, what? You still didn't talk about wins.
No, he can't. He can't. Well, that's what it is. Like, he's just putting all of his frustrations out there now, and he's just, that's just what it is. That he's got nothing. He's got nothing.
So we got a comment says, if you think he deserves Coach of the Year, we should stop watching football.
Who's he talking about? Sirianni?
I don't. Why doesn't Sirianni deserve Coach of the Year? He started out 2-5. They're now 7-2 in their last 9 games. What else? Why? Who's going to win Coach of the Year? Brandon Staley, Mike McCarthy. They have a lot better. They have a lot better talent. They have a lot better roster. I don't know what. Dallas went out and looked like trash for 3.5 quarters yesterday.
That they did.
And Mike McCarthy Mike McCarthy got caught with his pants down. And I can't even blame Mike McCarthy on that play. He ran out Prater and he ran out Kyler Murray, and they didn't know what to do. That linebacker was on his back, was off sides, lined up, was damn near next to the offensive lineman, and he forced him to use a timeout, which in turn turned out to work because I think Chase Edmonds fumbled the ball. All right, I'll give you a variable. I'll give you Mike Vrabel. They said Mike Vrabel. I'll give you that. I'll absolutely give you that. They lost the MVP candidate in Derrick Henry, and they're the number one seed. I'll give you that.
I never said anything about Sirianni being coach of the year.
No. But he was saying, because I was talking about comparing coaches.
Oh, but his comment says if you both think. I never said nothing, so be gone.
But yeah, we never said coach of the year, but he's got to be in the talks. Yeah, Vrabel.
And he actually has been mentioned, like some people, not as a front runner for it, but said, hey, here is, you could make a case for it. I haven't made a case for anybody to be coach of the year because I really don't care. I could care less.
Coach of the year is a meaningless award in my opinion. It really is.
Well, they just beat a 2-time coach of the year. And I had to get that zing in for you, Chris.
I'm not bringing it up. I get ripped on social media because he's an average coach. Like he's an average. God damn, the Sixers won by 20. It's Ron Rivera is an average coach, and there's nothing wrong with that. He brings a little respect to the organization. Excuse me as I fumble over my words, but that's it. Like Ron Rivera is not that great of a coach, and his great record is over 12 seasons as a coach is quickly diminishing. So Vrabel, I get it. Vrabel, he's lost AJ Brown, he's lost Julio Jones, he's lost Derrick Henry. The one good constant he has been Ryan Tannehill, who's been pretty damn good. Right. So I'll give him Vrabel. But other than that, like. Who's next? Maybe Cliff Kingsbury. He was winning without Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I would say so. with that.
So let's talk about the defense, and let's talk about the game Josh Sweat had.
Okay.
That dude was all over. Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's fine. I just sent you a text because I may have to step away for a sec. Just.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So you do your thing.
All right. So let's talk about Josh Sweat and the game he had. Like he had 2 sacks, tons of quarterback pressures. He was huge on this play. Like this was huge. This play right here I'm about to put up.
Heineke pressure. Heineke brought down for the sack. Josh Sweat the first to get there.
Like that play holds them to a field goal attempt, and we're good to go. Like we take out, going down 17-7, and we have that going for us. Josh Sweat, he's now tied for the lead or team lead, not league lead, team lead with Javon Hargrave for 7.5 sacks, which he got paid in the beginning of the season, so he earned his money. Hurts has been phenomenal. Like he's been throwing the ball, running the ball. Like he ran the ball pretty good yesterday. He didn't make any stupid plays. He didn't do anything crazy. He did everything that you want from your starting quarterback to help you win games against a divisional opponent. Like why is it that when we lose to the Giants, it's it's the Giants, but it's a hard fought game because it's a divisional game. But when you beat the Washington football team, it's another story. Like something's got to break. Something's got to break. So with that, I'm going to go to commercial. With La Terrain watches. So we will go to commercial since Eric is taking his dog out, and we'll be right back.
They say every watch tells a story. Family. Moments. lifetimes. With La Terrain, this is a watch that spans generations, not just from where it came from, but for where it will go. Knowing one of these, having one of these, is what being a professional, being casual, and being you is all about. From our family to yours, La Terrain.
So nice little commercial for La Terrain watches. So, he made the big plays. So I didn't really do anything. I was talking about Jalen Hurts' scramble.
I could hear the whole time. I had
okay. And I ran the commercial for La Terrain. So let's go back to the defense and the plays that were made. The big Josh Sweat sacks. Stopping the running game. Stopping Heineke in the second half. Granted, Heineke was, I think he was like 15 for 18. Other than that, he was nothing.
Yeah, he wasn't anything special. He wasn't. I mean, look, Washington is what they are this year. I mean, their quarterback play got hindered with who was their quarterback?
Heineke.
Well, no, who was the one? Didn't they sign somebody and he got hurt?
Oh, Fitzpatrick.
That's it. Fitzpatrick. That's right.
Cheers to Fitzpatrick.
Cheers to Fitzpatrick. They probably would have had a little bit better year with him. I mean, he's streaky, whatever. Give you 3 good games and 3 stinkers. But no, you're right though. The defense has been playing great. The Josh Sweat sack yesterday, that was clutch. Then talk about the Rodney Mcleod interception to seal the game. I mean, which I didn't think he caught that at first.
It was the best catch of the year.
Yeah, I didn't think he caught that at first because like the camera angle looked like the ball was just diving right down, and somehow he caught it. And hey, kudos to him. Kudos to him for it.
Yeah, and it's you saw Mr. COVID Sirianni giving him a hug, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
Yeah, that's funny. That's good stuff.
But yeah, so and, with that, we'll go to the Rodney Mcleod interception. Fans wanted pass interference, but it clearly the legs got tangled. That's not pass interference. That's not
right.
It's not how it goes. So let's go to Rodney Mcleod interception.
Heineke looking end zone, and it is intercepted by Rodney Mcleod.
I love watching that. He's just having fun with that.
You know what? It reminds you of the game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When Greg Ward scored, and the Eagles fan base took over Washington, and that shithole stadium, which almost killed our quarterback and our fan base yesterday.
Jalen Hurts was lucky. Imagine if he was walking to the left and not to the right, and that fell on him. That could have been a serious situation.
Yeah, the Redskins couldn't get a sack, but But the
Philly fans would have taken out their own quarterback.
And then he was taking selfies with him. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Well, I thought that was great.
I loved it. I
mean, he's like being awesome and helping them up, checking to see if they're okay, which was awesome. That was great. And then that dude, the one dude out of nowhere, he just has his phone ready to go, and he's like,
he popped up out of nowhere.
He came out of nowhere with his phone, and Hurts is like, all right. You can see him at one point look like up the tunnel, like, what's going on here? But okay, whatever. Hey.
Right, and then you see Mcleod run after him and was like, "Come on, let's go. We got to get you back."
Like you got to go in.
Like what the hell? Like what? Like you could say everything you want about the vet, but listen, we were there 2 years ago, and that stadium is not what all it's made out to be.
Did you hear about the water pipe that broke in one of the suites or something like that?
It was the poop water.
Yeah, it was a sewage line. They poop and piss. I was like, my God, that stadium is such garbage.
Yeah, it really is, and it's really bad for them. Like
It really is.
they got their organization is terrible. Their front office is terrible, and their stadium is a terrible.
And that's funny coming from us, when we had the vet.
The
You know what I mean?
The vet was hands down the worst stadium. And again, the vet is like playing on concrete. It was like playing on concrete.
It was. That's what they said. So
yeah,
I loved it.
So what else do you did you notice from yesterday's game that you want to talk about?
Dude, I was again and here it is. I was totally impressed with the way Jalen Hurts orchestrated the offense. I really was. He had. I know we have the video that we could play in a second. When the pocket just completely collapses on him and he takes off for a nice long run. It's like he's seeing the field better as the season's been going on. He's reading defenses better, which I gave him no credit for at all. I didn't think he could ever really do that. And he's just the throws that he has to make, he's making. And it's what I want. It's what I want out of my quarterback. I like an offense that is well balanced between the pass and the run game. And the run game sets up the pass, and I just want a quarterback that is competent enough to make the certain throws. And he's been doing that. Like these last 3 weeks, he's been doing that, and I'm extremely excited for that. Like I like a complete quarterback, and he's been now. Yeah, is he lighting it up for like 60-yard bombs or 40-yard bombs down the field? And having these, Quez Watkins breaking away for a long run. No, but you don't need that. You don't need that in this offense. And they found a way to incorporate everything in his game, and it's just matured more and more from week 7. And he's had a couple hiccups here and there, but even with those games, he hasn't been terrible. He hasn't been, you know what I mean?
No, you're right. Before I accidentally hit myself out. Yeah, so we have a comment from Darth Twitter saying the Washington offense played terrible. That's not our fault. We took advantage of it. We took advantage of it. Other teams aren't going to take advantage of it. And then again, if we would have lost, it would have been like, oh my God, we can't beat these teams. So we have to meet in the middle somewhere. Like, what's acceptable? Do you want a 20-16 win, or do you want a 31-16 win? Or do you want a 31-24 win? Or do you want a 31-28 win? I want a W. I don't care how it's done. If you go back to 2013 when they had Chip Kelly and they made the playoffs and, they were this and that. They didn't advance past Green Bay because Kyrie Williams committed a horse collar tackle on Darren Sproles, which gave the Saints the ball at like the 40 with like a minute left in the game.
Right.
So the Eagles have. Can we just appreciate and see if we have something special? Can we? Or are we just going to be negative Nancy?
Well, it is Philadelphia.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, there's 2 plays, that I want to show. I want to show the videos first.
Okay.
Where is it? I'm getting to them right now. Here's the first one. I was talking about Jalen Hurts, and I was just really impressed with this one. Like he was able to feel the pocket pressure coming in on him. He felt a collapse, and he was off and running for this nice scramble. So here's a video of Jalen Hurts on the move.
Hurts tucks it. He becomes a runner. Jalen Hurts runs for a first down and more, and he slides in midfield.
See, that there, I absolutely loved that play. Like you could see he was scanning and
there was nothing there.
There's nothing there. and the pocket collapsed on him. He just took off. And earlier in the year, I would have been really mad at him, but you could see he went through his progressions. It wasn't just the first read and he was gone. He actually did what a quarterback should do, and he went through everything. I didn't look, I didn't catch it, but I don't know if Goddard was out there, like if his check down was even there, which I'm assuming he wasn't. So, and then
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
and then I was going to say, and then this play to Devontae Smith, it wasn't the prettiest thrown ball, but it got the job done, and then Devontae Smith just does what he does.
Motion Goddard to the backfield, and on play action. Hurts sets. Complete. Devontae Smith catch and run, and a big gain for Philly.
I thought that was a great play also.
It was. It was. I don't need him throwing 80-yard strikes. Like, I don't. The offense isn't built like that right now.
Mm-mm. And when you got a route runner like Devontae Smith, you don't need something like that. I mean, he is a smooth route runner, and as you saw right there, he can catch the ball and turn and get past the defender and get a little bit extra. So I'm just excited for what we could see them do in the next couple of weeks in the playoffs. Now, granted, I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl or anything like that, but this team is gelling at the right time and playing some hot football right now. They are a hot team, and that's a dangerous team. I mean, I wish we had Jason Kelsey's speech, because like that was just awesome. But
that's a 2-minute speech. I didn't know if you wanted to put that up.
No. I mean,
but I am gonna play something. So hold on. I love it. I'm sorry. I love it. Superman's my favorite character, and it was just like, if you listen to the music, it's like the minute he jumps, like it goes into the Superman thing, and you're just like, yes, like you get all hype. Like it's fun to watch Eagles football again. Enjoy it, morons. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't like calling you morons, but enjoy it. Take what you have with Jalen Hurts. Take what you have with Nick Sirianni. Listen, when you have a team like this, when you have a guy like Jason Kelsey as your leader, guy's been here 11 years. I don't know. Like that dude, we were in a group text, and I don't know if you sent it or Bill sent it in the speech. And I watched the speech, and I went back, and I'm like, I can't think of anybody else comparable to him. And Rich said it best. Brian Dawkins. Absolutely. He is the Brian Dawkins of the people of like as their favorite player. And there's nothing wrong with having Jason Kelsey as your favorite player. Let's start out. The dude had blonde hair in the beginning of the season. Like,
yeah.
You remember that? Like, he had blonde hair?
Yeah.
How funny would it be if it's the Eagles versus the Cardinals and we call Zach Ertz the fumble and we win the NFC conference? I know it sounds crazy, but crazier things have happened.
Yes, they have. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Jason Kelsey is kind of like the Philadelphia spirit animal. First I thought it was, oh my God, everybody's favorite is Joel Embiid, and then Gritty came along, and everybody fell in love with Gritty. But I mean, Jason Kelsey is like the heart and soul of that Eagles team.
If anyone says they don't like Jason Kelsey, I'll fight you right in the middle of anywhere in Philadelphia.
Yeah, you can't. No one can say they don't like Jason Kelsey. You just can't. And I mean, he's got such emotion, and you can tell that he cares.
Cheers to Jason Kelsey.
So it's, when he starts telling the story in the speech, when he starts telling the story about the only person who really wanted him was Jeff Stoutland, and he starts getting emotional over it. I mean, that's telling. That's really telling. And he goes through the progression in the story about how no one wanted him and everything, and how here in Philly they were ready to trade him for a washing machine. And I was like, you know what?
He's right. You know what? Give me that dude. Jeff Stoutland is a goddamn genius right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Absolutely. He saw something in him and he wanted him. And look what happened. That's all that matters. The guy wanted him. He has him. And there it is. So it's going crazy.
So, I mean, really nothing else. Eagles play 8:15 Saturday night. Should be a good game. I don't know what else,
Well, it's funny. McCarthy was asked about, playing sitting players and everything like that in the final game, and he's like, absolutely not. So it's like he's going all in for it. And
they still have something to play for. I mean, we're playing for the 6th seed.
Yeah, I mean they're still trying to get the 2nd seed. So yeah.
I don't think they have a shot at the 2nd seed.
I don't know. Well, right now they're 4th. So I mean they're okay, if they don't have the shot at the 2nd seed, then they're playing for 3rd.
Yes.
So, but yeah, but I told you before, I felt that even if it came down to it, that there was no way that they were going to sit anybody.
No, you're 100% right. Like
Yeah, I mean,
I thought about it. I was going to disagree, but then I thought about it, and I'm like, no, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they're still playing for something, and say it came down to we had to beat them to get in. There's absolutely no, even though they're in the playoffs, there's the thought of the Dallas Cowboys sitting starters, knowing that if we beat them, we're in the playoffs. There's no way that would happen. I was like, no way.
You know what it is also, and the fans, and they want to sweep the division. That's what's important to them.
Yeah.
I could care. Like, the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017, and you know what? They were 5-1 against the division. They played Nate Sudfeld in that game against the Cowboys in the last day of the season. Yep. So I'm okay with it. If that's when you want to live and die by, cheers to you. Like,
oh yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh man, all I know is, I am so tired after work today. I'm having trouble. I'm gonna have trouble sleeping. I'm gonna have me a nice Jack and Coke before I go to bed.
So we're gonna end it with a couple things. Antonio Brown is no longer a Buccaneer. I'm not talking about it. You saw the footage. No one knows what it is, but he's no.
All I'm going to say is, if it's got something to do mentally or CTE wise, people need to step in and help that guy out, because Brady alluded to that type of thing. So someone needs to step in.
But here's my thing. Like Dexter Wynn said it. When do we hold the player accountable?
True.
And then, like, the player has to be held accountable. Like, we want to hold ownership accountable. We want to hold the NFL accountable for, CTE, everything growing on our brains. But when do we actually hold a player accountable who's not insane and doesn't need the help?
Right. Exactly.
And then we're going to end on a video with Cordell Patterson, running back, receiver, and just a good thing, kids crying over football, and he hooks them up. So and then we'll end out with our outro video as well.
Why she crying? Why she crying?
Oh, because he got a ball and she didn't.
Oh, she need a ball?
She needs a ball.
Let's find her a ball. Jimmy, I can get a ball? Hey, let me get one. Let me get one. Mason.
Oh.
You welcome. Yes, ma'am.